everyone, it's Cheryl from Teaching 2 and 3-year-olds. I'm putting together another fall circle time video so you can see some fun ways to get your children engaged during your fall circle times. But I also want to make sure that you check out our apple circle time video and also our pumpkin circle time video. Those are separate and you can find those in my channel. So for now, I'm going to focus on what we're doing actually in November. And for us, that's pretty much 3 weeks of leaves and squirrels and acorns. We might put some owls in there, but this is our time to do just basic fall. And then as we get a little closer to Thanksgiving, we will be talking about being thankful, and we'll be doing some turkey activities. So those are what I'm going to talk about today in this video. I have playlists on Spotify for my entire school year, and so for a lot of what we're doing in November, you will find those songs in my November playlist. So I will drop a link to this in this video's description. And many of these activities you can do with songs that are in that playlist. But let's start with my free leaf printables. Now these come numbered, and these also come just plain. So I take the plain colored leaves and I make props with them. And these are actually, I think, like 3 years old. Since I copy them onto cardstock, which is heavy paper, and since I laminate them and I use packing tape to put them on the jumbo craft sticks, they're very durable, so they can last several years, which is what I want, so I don't have to keep making these year after year after year. So I always have these colored leaves available. Tap, 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 and Barney says, tap your shoe. Tap, 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 and Barney says, tap your neck. And you can make an extra set of the colored leaves and do just as I've done with these numbered leaves, where you put them on the magnetic board, and then the children just can come up with their leaf and they can match it to the matching colored leaf. So that's the plain colored leaves. Then you can take my numbered leaves, and again, this is all in the same packet. It's a freebie on my website. The links are all in this video's description. Same thing, I have 1 to 5 on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I made sure to make enough extra copies of these numbered leaves so that each child can get ones. And you want to make sure that each number is represented up to 5 in this activity. So as they come up, I just have the magnetic dots on the back, and they can just place it underneath, just like this. So this is a fun way to look at colors and look at numbers. And you can also do this on a flannel board. If you don't have a magnetic board, you can just put Velcro on the back instead, and you can just stick it just like this. Another free leaf printable on my website is this "What color is your leaf" activity. And I actually have a post on my website that shows how you can do this. So again, that link is in the video's description, but let me show you here how you can do it. What I did was, first of all, you have this little "What color is your leaf?" And then I have these different the rectangles here. What color is your leaf? And I have these leaves in different colors. And so each of the children gets a leaf, and then they come up and they put their leaf on the matching rectangle, just like that. And then what you can do is, if you have different amounts of each, then when all the children put their leaves on here, you can count. How many green leaves do we have? How many brown leaves do we have? How many yellow leaves do we have? How many red leaves do we have? And here's another thing I like to do. I actually like to either have us go out on a nature walk and collect leaves, and instead of using these leaves, you can use those leaves. So then the children can place their leaves on the matching color. Or you can ask them to bring their leaves from home. They might go on a family walk or look in their yard, and then they can take these leaves to circle time, and then they can put the leaves on here. So you either can use these cards, or you can use real leaves, or you might, maybe if you don't have access to all those different colored leaves, you can use pretend leaves. We have a lot of artificial leaves that we use in like in our sensory bin and other areas that have the different colors. You can use those as well. In our Teachers Pay Teachers shop, we have a packet called 5 Little Friends Jumping on a Bed. And this packet has different characters depending on the season or the holiday. So November gets 2. We have the squirrels and we have the turkeys. So we're going to start with the squirrels. And what I do is I like to do this on my felt board, or I like to hold it up. And I'm going to show you my 5 little monkeys just so you can see how I have it set up. So what I do is everything's laminated, and then on the back I put a little tape. I actually stuck 2 pieces together so it's not sticky, so my hand can slide through, and that way I can hold it like this. But you can also attach it with Velcro, and you can just put it right on your flannel board. And then what I do is I have Velcro on the bed and on the character. Make sure, be mindful of the hook and loop so that they can actually attach. So it's this concept, but I'm showing you here that here's our turkeys and here are our squirrels. And then what I like to do is I take whatever character it is. There's also a set of plain ones. They're not numbered. So that then you can make little props that the children can hold. And again, I put these on craft sticks. I like to use jumbo craft sticks, but you can use just regular popsicle sticks as well, so that they can hold either a squirrel or a turkey while you sing this song. And so here is what it looks like. These are, this is the extra set of just plain turkeys that you'll make into the props. And here's the extra set of the plain squirrels. Squirrels jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped her head. Mommy called the doctor and the doctor said, what'd you say? No more squirrels jumping on the bed. How many squirrels are on the bed? One. Just one. Put those squirrels back to bed. Okay, help me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, it's all in our 5 Little Friends Jumping on a Bed packet over on Teachers Pay Teachers. Also in our Teachers Pay Teachers shop, we have a packet that is specific to fall circle time props. And so I'm going to be sharing several ideas here that come from that packet. And again, all the links are below in this video's description. The first is the Squirrel Prop. And a song that has been a favorite since I started teaching here 25 years ago is Squirrel, Squirrel, Shake Your Bushy Tail. So we have 2 different versions. We have the prop, where you add the brad and the tail can move up and down. And I haven't put these ones together yet, but you also can just have the plain squirrel where the tail doesn't move. This also comes in brown, so you can have your choice of a brown squirrel or a gray squirrel. Our song happens to be gray squirrel, Shake Your Bushy Tail, which is in my November playlist. Now, let me share a little bit about this so that you can make your own decision. The first year, because this is my 3rd year now using this, the first year I only made this prop for myself to hold and where the tail moved. And I made the ones with the stationary tails for the rest of the children. Well, they wanted their tail to move like mine. So the next year, last year, I decided to give them all the props where the tail moves. Now, this is attached with the brad, and then I taped it. I figured out I had to tape it because as soon as they got it and saw the brad, well, you can imagine, they wanted to rip the brad off. So then I tried taping it. See, there's tape here. But several of them didn't make it beyond our first round because the children found a way to still take the tail and remove it. So I would suggest do what you feel is going to work for your class. I think this version would work better for older preschoolers who aren't into the whole, why does this move? But maybe for the older preschoolers that will work. I would suggest for my age group of 2 and 3-year-olds using the ones with the stationary. Squirrel, squirrel, shake your bushy tail. Squirrel, squirrel, shake your bushy tail. Oh, does your squirrel want to go up, 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 up? And down, 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 down. Also in that same packet, these numbered squirrels and numbered acorns. And this is a fun activity to do because it helps with number recognition. And I have 1 to 10 acorns right here in the middle of the circle. And then I hand each child a squirrel. And I made extras because I wanted to make sure all our students had one, just make sure each number is represented. And you can do this after singing Squirrel, Squirrel. And then after counting 1 to 10, you have them look at the number that's on their squirrel, and then they put their squirrel underneath. So just like that. So again, this is a fun matching activity that goes with our fall theme that adds squirrels. And also in that packet, we have this leaf activity where you are looking at the color of the leaf and you're also looking at the number that's on the leaf. So again, I put a set out in the middle of my circle time. I handed each of the children one of the numbered leaves, and then they can come up and then they can match it like this. In that same packet, there is a leaf shape activity. So I made enough copies so that I had a full set, again, that's in the middle of the circle. This is how I like to do this. Then you make copies of each so that the children have their own shape, and then they can come up and they can just match it. Just like this. So it's a great way to work on looking at the colors and looking at the shapes. As we get closer to Thanksgiving, we'll start adding some turkey activity. So these plain props and these number props, these are a freebie on my website. And I have a full set of the plain because we hold these while we sing any of the turkey or Thanksgiving songs. And then I have the numbered ones on a flannel board. Again, I just have Velcro dots on the back so that if we want to do some counting. All right, help me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to have this be a number matching activity, you can make extra copies of these and you can make them as props, just like I have with the plain. And then they can come up, the children can come up and they can tap their turkey to the matching number here. And one last activity that we have for our Thanksgiving theme is putting the feathers on the turkey. And this is a free printable that is on my website. I put the turkey body on a flannel board attached with Velcro. And then I made enough of the feathers so that each of the children can have one. And then you can just set it up like this, hand them each a feather, and then they can just put them all around the turkey.
What's next? Anyone have a red feather?
I do.
And this can also be an independent activity. You can have this out during centers time. You can put the feathers in a little basket next to it and the children can work on this by themselves. So these are some of the circle time activities that we will be doing in November. Remember that if you want to find apple circle time and pumpkin circle time, those are separate videos. So check this channel out and you'll find those. Also keep in mind that it depends on where your students are at, which of these activities that you'll want to do. Like for example, with my students that I have this year and where we are at, we are still really just into the props where we use for songs. This is a young group, as I've mentioned before, and so I'm taking circle time very, very slowly. So this will be a good activity for them. Holding up a prop while we sing is going to be a good activity for them, and while we read super simple books. That is where we are at. But for those of you who can add more, that's why I'm sharing these as well. I continue to get emails from teachers, especially teachers of 2-year-olds, who really say, I want to do so much more than I can, and I'm frustrated. And I just want to remind you, you'll get there, but there's no rush. Give them what they can handle at this time, and slowly add more as you feel they're ready. Teachers are constantly saying they know that when they rush it and try to do more, they can tell because they lose their children's attention. Just know where your students are at and just go from there. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up so that it can be shared and found by more teachers who need these resources. Make sure to subscribe to Teaching 2 and 3-year-olds on YouTube and click that bell icon so that every time I publish a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks for watching.